Hey everyone, welcome back to another conversation here at the Cuban Olive. If this is your first time tuning in to us, hey listen, we want you to subscribe to our channel and listen in to the conversations that we're having, because this is a place where we have grown man conversations about teaching, inspiring, and educating young men all across the country, older and younger men, about the things that go through life. We want to teach you how to be relevant, how not to be average, and how to step your game up in this thing called life. And we do all this in my backyard called the Cuban Olive here in Las Vegas, Nevada. So welcome. Fellas, how you doing today?
Doing good, doing good. Good to be here. It's good to be here.
I know. Hey, listen, I got my man, I got my crew here. I got my boy James Wolf. James, everything good with you this week so far?
Everything good with Mr. Fantastic.
Mr. Fantastic. I like that. So that's my man James, and also we got my man here, Alex Wyrick, doing this thing, doing this conversation. You know how he is. How you doing, my man?
Oh man, I'm feeling wizardry. You understand?
We got the wizard, right?
Hey, here it is.
I know,
Back
right?
in.
Back in
once
it, bro.
again.
Once again.
Yeah, like
man,
we do it.
Like, you know what? We had a conversation. We was talking about this, and a lot of people seem to be suffering or going through these things about trying to keep income or revenue coming in because people are losing jobs. And you said something. You said people need to recession-proof their life. Explain a little bit more about that. Let people know about what you mean about recession-proof your life.
Recession-proofing your life is pretty simple. You got to take a look at what are the common denominators in order for you to make the income that you have. The days of working a job for 40 years, getting that pension, and just going off into the sunset are over.
You agree with that? Over.
100%.
We're living in a time where the vast majority of people in America don't know how to pivot from what they were doing from a W-2 job, and now we have unemployment based on the pandemic.
Yes.
We got millions of people that don't know where to go.
At record rates.
Exactly. And that's crazy because a lot of people, and what's funny, man, is people are doing things, the mentality of people is blowing me away. People are depending on stimulus payment to live their life, unemployment to live their life. And they're not, like you said, pivoting to recession-proof their life. So go ahead, go what you're talking about.
And recession-proofing your income, you got to be creative. Mm-hmm. You got to think outside the box and think about that. Those are some of the things I know. I grew up where my mom, love her to death, wish she was still here, but she didn't teach us. Mm-hmm. She told us to get your education, get a good job, work that job, don't miss days of work, and do that for 30 years, and you're gonna be fine. However, I'm the middle child, so I'm the problem child of the family.
Is it the middle child that's a problem, or is the last child?
Man, I done messed up for the middle child, the last child, and the first child. So I'm that middle child, and I understand what a good job is. I had those jobs growing up, but I always wanted to be an owner. I always wanted to. I'm a bad employee. I was a great employee when I was working at McDonald's growing up. But then I met the guy that owned my McDonald's, and he said I was so poor in Benton Harbor, Michigan, that when I got older and based off how they treated me, I bought all the McDonald's.
Wow. See, that's what I'm talking about.
And then I bought all the Burger Kings. And he said, once you get an understanding of a system and that you can operate your business even when it's down times in the economy.
Wow.
And your system continues to work, you'll never be broke.
I love that.
Think about our lives.
I love that.
The system works.
It's the system, yeah.
We're never broke.
Yeah.
I always go back to the gateway of America. I don't care what anyone says. It's credit. Mm-hmm. Credit is your gateway.
Period. You're right. You're absolutely right. And you got to watch your credit.
Believe this. A person sitting home today with a 750, 800 FICO, and the pandemic is going on, but they have access to $30, $40, $200,000 in credit, they can buy food for their family. You agree with that, Alan?
100%. I mean, having lucrative income is a very confident, very recession-proof direction towards life. When you make the necessary commitments to managing your business, all of your business affairs and your personal affairs pertaining to your estate, that's when you find that you're in a much better position of controlling where you go from that particular position. Because mainly everything in life is all about position. It's all about direction. It's all about connection. It's all about foresight. Because you have to look beyond where you are to get where you need to get to.
That's true.
And to have a recession-proof type of mentality, that's when you start to have a little bit more creative intuitiveness that's going to allow you to be able to talk with confidence and live comfortable as well.
Yes, exactly right. That's
so
exactly
it comes down to really making all the necessary moves in life, transitioning and pivoting to the right direction for you to actually have a better understanding about what it is you can do to make life better for yourself and others as well.
And that pivoting, take a look at today. We know we got about 175 million people in America. Credit rating has been affected over the last 9 months.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So
I agree. I totally agree with that.
You got 175 million people.
Yeah.
Now, we know that everybody's had the lull in the pandemic. Everybody's been worried about the election, worried about the vaccine, is it really going to work?
Right.
But a lot of people haven't been paying their house notes.
Or paying rent if they rented.
But guess what? The day will come when you got to pay your house note. How many houses will be in foreclosure?
Ooh, it's going to be a lot. Because what they doing, and I know what they're going to be doing, is taking those payments and adding it on to the back, but you got to still be able to make those payments. And if you can't make those payments, still, after all this is over, they taking that house from you.
Take the house from you.
Yes.
And then someone with a great credit,
high credit score, swoop it up.
High credit score can scoop up a home that they wouldn't have been able to necessarily afford, because guess what? The value of your home today, and take a look at the value of your home, let's say 12, 18 months from now, when the pandemic is over, and some of the jobs that you were furloughed on, the companies are telling you they will never bring the job back because they found out something.
Right. That's true.
I can take an employee, have them work from home, reduce my overhead, have you work from home, and I could become more profitable. And when corporations, I mean large corporations, can become more profitable,
that's the bottom line.
With the same productivity, because the shareholders is going to say what LT just said. That's the bottom line. I invest in this company to make a dividend.
That's
and
exactly
if you
right.
can give me a better dividend, keep those people at home. Because I don't care about them anyway. I care about my investment that I put into the company.
I got to take care of my family.
But keep in mind, folks,
and the ripple effect is tremendous. No job, mess around and be over 40, and then you're competing with, guess what?
Younger, so 20-year-old, 25-year-old, fresh out of college.
He said, you know something? I'll take this job for $40,000, and I ain't got to pay $75,000 to the guy that actually know how to do the job.
The American way. That's what business is. That's the way business is.
And the American way, every time, think about this. Every time the American way leaves havoc in its wake. Wow. I grew up in a place called Michigan. And they had, the big car companies in Detroit.
Right.
And everybody said it was going to come back. Detroit has never recovered from the 70s when this little company called Toyota came. Nobody wanted to buy that little car.
Kick their booty.
No one wants to buy a little car like that, but Toyota was smart. They built a system, and they started designing cars that Americans would buy at half the price.
That's true. And and that's what I want to kind of spend a little time on, is you saying system. See, people get into business. When they talk about recession proof, they say, okay, well, I need to get in business. Well, you got to find the right business, because it's got to be, again, recession proof. No matter what's going on in the country or the world, you got to still be able to bring in revenue. Exactly. But you got to have a system. See, you can own a business and not have a system, you're guaranteed to fail. That's why McDonald's has been around forever. You rarely see a McDonald's that goes out of business. Very rarely. Because they have a system. See, exactly. A system is in place. So when you have something, like I have a tax business, I have a system with my tax business. I reduced my overhead tremendously. I was paying for a brick and mortar place. Y'all remember my office?
Of course.
I was paying with wages and the expense of having that place, like $4,000 a month. Even though my revenue was high, but my expenses was high too. Once I reduced all of that, put a system in, that's so funny, huh? Hilarious. Hilarious. Folks, we just had this conversation about turning your phone off. You know what he said? I turned my phone off. He lied like a mug.
His phone can't go off.
I know, right? But yes, but I reduced all of that, put a system in. My revenue was lower, but guess what? My profit was much higher. And that's the bottom line. Recession-proof business, profits are higher, and James said something, you better be on there working on your credit. If you got credit challenges out there right now, because that credit can make you money, that credit can continue to have you and your family recession-proof your life. But if you got credit problem, you need to reach out to us. Comment below and say, hey, I need help with credit, or I need help to learn how to recession-proof my income in my life. Exactly. We've done it. We're doing it. We're here in the afternoon. What time is it right now? 2 o'clock? 2 o'clock. Smoking a cigar. Where's our cocktails? Oh, man, we ain't no cocktails. There ain't no cocktails there.
Because we were so excited to have this conversation with you.
Exactly right. And that's why we wanted to tell you guys, man, you can have a great life, but you got to reach out to us. Hear what we have to say to you. Here's some of the thoughts. You ain't got to take it, just take it and just say, these are the guys that's telling me what to do. We want to give you recommendations, give you ideas where you can, like James talked about, like what this conversation is about, recession-proofing your income, recession-proofing your life by doing some of the things that we've done.
Exactly.
And continue to do, so you could be in a position where you can sit back here and have a stogie, have conversations in the afternoon at the Cuban Olive.
As they say, in the worst of times can be the best of times for those who plan for a better life for themselves.
I like that. That was good. I like that.
At the end of the day, by and large, you basically have to understand that when someone fails, somebody's got to succeed. So by mistakes in which many people find themselves, bombarded with, someone else has already prepared for those times, and they look for a way to make life better, not only for themselves but for everyone else involved. Because at the end of the day, each one reach one, teach one. It comes to us basically trying to educate you all, subscribe, and find more about how you can too be a part of a movement, a direction, an opportunity to make your life better. Absolutely. We only mainly want to give you love and compassion and teaching to a point, because at the end of the day, when we say we don't care, it's not true that we don't care. We just don't care about the things that are not relevant, and that's not productive. That's not
I agree.
Advantageous to success. Mm-hmm. Because at the end of the day, if you don't think like a winner, you can't be a winner.
Ooh, and we got Facebook,
I like that.
We got Instagram for a whole bunch of people that ain't got nothing to do.
Exactly.
They sit on those every single day.
Oh,
Facebook
my goodness.
not paying me. If YouTube is not paying me, I'm not spending 6-7 hours a day on it.
Get the pens out,
using
people.
that time for me to learn the basics. If you get involved with us dealing with the credit, you can learn the basics of credit. You can see that a credit score, I'll give you an example. I have a client that's got a 795 FICO. Today, by using his credit, he has 10 credit cards now. Authorized user accounts.
Authorized user. That's going to help
make him $75,000.
Wow.
Sitting at home.
Using his credit.
Because his job is to maintain his credit. And once you learn what an authorized user is, he's not using the credit and not getting a rate of return. His credit is giving him a rate of return. 800 FICO score should pay you over 150 grand a year.
Damn.
Period. You can get that kind of knowledge being here with us.
Exactly.
And you can start by not knowing, somebody got a credit score, but to be honest, I don't even know what it means. We would take you from the basics so you will understand, and what's most importantly, when you see some of the things that we're going to be talking about, you understand what's behind the credit score. What companies benefit from the credit score to allow you to stay in debt in America, and it makes them multi-billions of dollars. Because most credit reports that you see, put it this way, every single person's credit report here has something on their credit report that's not correct.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You have something on your credit report
that is not reporting correctly. Absolutely.
And when you learn to look for it, they have to take it off your credit report.
Exactly. And that's why you want to reach out to us.
A name.
Exactly.
An address.
Something is not correct on there.
If a different address, I'll give you an example, a quick example And we're not even charging these guys for it. If you had an address for more than 18 months and you moved to another address and it's still on your credit, it needs to be taken off.
Absolutely.
And if anything associated with the previous address, they need to take it off your credit. And that's the law.
That's the law. That's why.
the
That's
law
not exactly right.
dealing with credit. So
Exactly.
understanding it, seeing it in black and white right in front of you, you get that knowledge. They can't take it away.
Period. That's the
Once
bottom
you
line.
understand it, you say, well, I don't know. What can I do? One last quick example. I watched an example of someone taking a smart car. You know the cars that we can't fit in?
That's some short people can do that.
How smart
That's
is
some
that?
short people. That's some
Guess
short
what?
people can do it.
It's this company. It's this guy that turned his little business and his credit. He bought 3 of these cars for $200 a month.
Oh yeah, we was talking about that. Remember? Yeah.
They're Uber. He got guys that was working with Uber, but they didn't necessarily have the vehicle. He rented his guy to the Uber guys for a certain amount per week. He sat at home. The cars paid him $4,000 a month. The Uber person, all they had to do was pay for gas. He paid the car note.
And the car note was what?
Car note was $200 a month.
$200. And you said he had 2 shifts a day.
2 shifts a day. The cars ran 24 hours a day, 12 hours per Uber person per shift. They had the car, the gas, and you go do what you have to do. And they paid him for renting the car.
There it is. There it is right there. There's an opportunity
Something
for you.
like that
Yeah. You
is
make
thinking
money.
outside the box.
Exactly.
And will get you to the Cuban Olive.
Ah.
Instead of you looking for a stimulus check, waiting on unemployment check come in.
Mad because your unemployment ain't came in.
You're
That's
mad.
ridiculous.
And then that bubbles over into everything else you do in your life.
Yeah.
You're short with your loved ones.
Right.
You're upset because the pandemic is taking away everything from you, and yet some people during the pandemic is making more money than they ever have in their life.
This is one of the best times. And same thing over here. That's
Ever had
exactly
in their
right.
life.
And you got to think about it. And we're not. And here's what I want you to understand. I'm not saying getting unemployment is bad. I'm just saying that you got to have a plan B. Okay, of course you working, you need that money coming in and do that, but you still got to say, okay, I got to do something else so I don't find myself and my family in this situation again that I'm in, basing my life on a stimulus check or unemployment. Man, you got to get out there and become relevant. Don't be average. Man, step your game up like we talked about earlier and be the person that you can be an example in your community.
Because it's all about each one reach one. You know, basically networking, like you said, building the businesses. And also, I want to touch on the authorized users. That means that you're in a position that you can also reach out and help someone else that might be less fortunate than you, that need a start, need a hand up, need a direction. And at that time, you basically refer to the guys you see here to help you plan your credit approach to basically trying to ensure yourself that you actually redirect your credit, improve it, perfect it to where it works for you and it can work for others.
Right. Hey, listen, it ain't for everybody. We did deal with people who want to do something, who want to move forward, who want to go north in their life. We're willing to help. We want to teach you and help you understand how to elevate your life, and it can be done. You just got to reach out to us. That's all we're saying. Reach out, because I wish this platform was here when I was coming up.
Right.
Because we all been through the school of hard knocks.
yeah.
Very much
We've
so.
hit brick walls.
Yes.
And we're just trying to teach you guys out there to stop hitting that brick wall all the time. Stop running into a wall and making mistakes over and over again. Your life can change. All you got to do is make a decision. You think so, fellas?
You got to make the decision. That's
you have to
really
make the decision first.
Exactly. You got to make the
You
decision.
can't worry about what other people are talking about, what they're doing, because guess what? They don't live your life.
Exactly. Don't compete with other people.
And
Compete against you.
Watch out who you take advice from. And the
Oh,
first question you need
yeah.
to ask yourself, do I want to buy their life?
You know, I was telling you.
They don't have the
That's
life
right.
you want.
Exactly.
You can make sure, take their advice like oxygen. We all breathe it in, we breathe it out.
Exactly. And I was told this long time ago. Because people always got advice for everybody, don't they? Always say that. Always remember this. Consider the source. Let me say that again. Consider the source on where you're getting the information from, and that'll help you make the right decisions in your life.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Fellas, I think that was a great conversation, and I can't wait for our next conversation, because we need to stay on this. I think this topic because people really need to understand. Now, you may be thinking out there, well, how do I build my credit? Well, you got to reach out and subscribe. You got to comment, give us a thumbs up, hit the notification bell so we can teach you this. But we're not going to sit right here and teach you right online to how to do every little minuscule step on how to improve your credit, how to recession-proof your life and your income. Reach out to us. We'll teach you. We'll talk to you.
Because 100%. If you want to look the part, you have to know how to start. And it's starting with these guys here, basically trying to help educate
I like that.
and inform you all on ways in which you can improve your life. It's all about trying to find a better direction and a better vehicle that's going to ensure you that you have the lifestyle that is owed to you based on what you feel you deserve. So, entitlement, it's all about what you feel entitled to. Exactly. Entitle yourself for a new opportunity, starting with subscribing to us so that we can better educate you on the things in which we're talking about. Improving your life in terms of recession-proof, securing and ensuring that you have all the necessary knowledge, vehicles intact.
There you go.
And making sure that you know that the sources in which you consider are reputable.
There you go.
Strong, smart, efficient, and available.
There you go. We provide it here. Folks, I mean, my man, hey, listen, that was great, man. Yeah. I appreciate you guys coming out on the afternoon. I know we're going to sit here and smoke a few more cigars, maybe one more cigar.
It's time for a cocktail.
I like cocktail. I like cocktail. Let's do that.
Yes, it is.
Fellas, hey, I'm glad you guys tuned in to us. Stay tuned for our next video, our next conversation here at the Cuban Olive. Folks, let's call it a day.
We say get in where you fit in and keep it
Get in
moving.
where you fit in.
Much love.
Wheels on it.
Love.
Much love.
You know?
Peace.
You dig to the Middle East.